really not sure what just happened, but the camera appeared to just stop recording. So all I did was just finish sticking this one in here. And then I got up to get the post. And look what the postman brought me. I got these from China. They have taken, I don't know, maybe a month to get here. But for the price they were, honestly, so very worth it. They were like 2-3 quid or something. Stupidly cheap. So I got this one. How beautiful is that? That is just stunning. And this one, which isn't open. Hold on. So you could have it either that way or that way, obviously. And this one as well. So I thought I'd give this this Chinese company a try, and if I liked them, possibly order some more, which I think I might. And this one is, there we go. Just, you know, just lovely for mixed media type of work. So like I said, they have taken quite a long time to get here, but for the price they were, you know, who cares? So, put that away. The little screws as well, put those over there. Right, so back to this. So, I'm going to make a shelf to go right the way across here. So I've just, well, we've been off, well, the camera switched itself off, just cut that to more or less the right length. And this is a really old bit of chipboard. It's a bit rough, but it's the only thick one that I had left that I could find. So I figure we're going to cover it in paper and paint it anyway, so it's not a huge problem. So that is going to go in there, straight across in there. Again, I'm going to make that quite a tight fit. And then we are going to cut that there. Mark that. Yeah. Fabulous. Sticking. What's that sticking to? Glue. Right. Where's my ruler? Oh, I always use my ruler upside down because it's got these like edges, and if I use it this way, I don't always get it in. So I always use it up, unless I'm measuring, obviously. We'll try and use it upside down. So to get a straight edge, I try and line the edges of something that's straight up, and then use the grid line as a guide. Nearly there. Fantabulous. I'm hoping now that that will fit quite nicely in there. And it does. Quite pleased with that. Fabulous, right? So, some glue for the bottom. Oh dear. Some glue for the sides. And then I'm actually going to run a little bit of glue along this piece here as well. Like so. Lid back on. And put it back upside down. I want it that way around. I've got to try and hold that one in place somewhat. I'm just rubbing the excess off with my fingers and onto the bit of tissue that I've got to one side off camera that you probably can't see. And we'll glue there. Try and just hold that a minute. Right, fabulous. How are we looking? So my next question is, where would I like my next shelf? I need some up shelves. These are all vertical, obviously. Let's see if this is still standing at the moment. Whether or not it stays like that, who knows? Should we have an up shelf here? I think an up shelf there would be quite a nice idea. How tall is that? That might work there then. So from there to there, mark it. Yeah, there. I'm not sure I got a very good mark on that. That might be too big, but we will give it a go. So again, like that up there. Now the question is, which bit did I want? Did I want this bit? I think I wanted this bit. Yes, I did. And that's straight enough. And cut it. That little line there. I mean, obviously, if you've got anything specific that you want to put in your little compartments, then you can make the compartments as big as you need it to be for that specific thing. As I said when we started, I'm really winging this. I have no idea what I'm putting in this yet, so size-wise, work it out as I go along. I'll find something to fit in the gap, something that works. And right now, I've cut that bit, by the looks of it, ever so slightly too short. Yes, I have. Okay, let's use that as a guide and recut this to too long. It's only ever so slightly too short. So there, I think. This is cat-handed cutting, this is, back to front. So if we just mark it, and then we'll line it up and get it straight. It's pretty straight to me. This is my idea of straight, obviously, not the rest of the world's idea of straight. And then we wanted, it was the right size the other way. So, yeah. Just about there. Now I've cut it too big, just you wait. Excuse my head. As predicted, I've now cut it too long. Right, okay. That one's too short, but that one's too long. How is this working for me then? So we need it. Trial and error, people. Take a little tiny bit off and make sure it's not too much. I hope I'm not boring you all to tears here. This is how I work though. You know, I don't really measure. More or less everything I do is trial and error. And if it doesn't work, then, you know, we do something else and figure out a way that it does. I think that will work if I can manage to hold that in place. Okay. So we want some glue. We want some glue there. And some glue there. And some glue there. Which way round did I have it? Is it this way? I'm going to hold that for a little while because not the best fit, so I kind of want to force it to fit rather than just leaving it in like I've done with the others. Okay, where we're at, we have 1, 2, 3 boxes and a big gap. I'm not liking the big gap there. Maybe we need a bit of glue on the inside so that we can stick those two together. Give that a try. Ah, I hate the stringiness of this glue. Okay, I think that's going to work a bit better. Right. Now what? Well, we don't have to have them all straight. We could have some at an angle. The problem with putting stuff at an angle is whether or not you can get it to stay on. I think maybe on there and one there, and have a little one at the bottom. Yeah, I quite like that, but they are obviously too small. So cut it to there. Line that up. Take it back a bit because we are slightly out on the line. It's not a very straight line, but you know, we'll work with it. Now this is going to be difficult because this is at an angle. So let's give this a try. I'm going to try and cut this at an angle. I have no clue if this is going to work. Oh, that was not too bad at all. Not right, but it was quite a good idea. Okay. Let's cut it off because it's too long. That way. But we want the smaller angle down, so we want it that way. Meaning that you can cut a little bit more from the top. That might work. It might just work. Excuse me. Now that is not bad at all. Arguably sticks out slightly too far. Okay, tiny bit more, tiny bit more. Not much. I'm doing this purposely slightly bigger at one end than the other because obviously didn't cut it in a straight line. Sandpaper. Now that's quite a nice fit. So, some glue. That back upside down there. Let's try and get this in the right place. So about there. I'm trying to keep these shelves kind of more or less straight so that if you put something on them they wouldn't fall off. I mean obviously they're not going to be perfectly straight but more or less. So I think what I'm going to do now that you've seen how I make these shelves, is turn the camera off, continue making the shelves, and either come back to show you me gluing them in or come back once I've glued them in. Okay, I'm back and they are all glued in place now. So this is what we have. Now I'm really impatient and I wanted this to be big because there was something specific that I wanted to put in there that I'd ordered that I was waiting to arrive. But bearing in mind that I don't know if it's going to arrive in time or not, I'm going to carry on, go ahead and see what happens. So what I'm going to do now is go back to my black paint and I'm going to paint these all up as well to match the rest of the outside. So that is what we are going to do now. And be a little bit careful, obviously, because although they're all glued in, they're not necessarily completely dry. So I'm just really making sure that I get around the edges, anywhere where the paper might not fit completely to the sides. I mean, what you could do, I suppose, is paper these before you glue them in. The only problem that you could possibly have with that is that you get the glue all over the paper, which is why I choose to do it this way round. But obviously that is your individual choice and completely down to you. That one's not glued too well, but that might be okay once we've put some paint and some paper over it. So I think, as you could see from when I was making the shelves, it really is a massive case of trial and error. And I've just put the first lot of films onto the computer just to see what time limit we were at, and it looks like this is going to be quite a long process if I film right the way to the end. But I think the most important part of me sharing this with you was how you create the box itself, how you cut the front off and you make the shelves and stick the shelves in. So when it comes to embellishing and turning it into a printer's tray stroke configuration box, what is the difference? If somebody knows, please let me know. Give me a shout, give me a message down there, because I have no idea. But yeah, the important part, like I say, is this bit, and then you can do the rest yourself. I mean, I think I'll carry on filming more or less because I've started, but if this was all you wanted to know, then feel free to turn off now, and I will do once I have finished what I usually do with my projects, which is just a finished video to show you what I came up with in the end. There's a bit of loose, there we go, pulled that off there. What I like about the black as well, the black gesso, is that it's a lot more forgiving and covers things a lot better for me. I have problems with white sometimes, that it doesn't always cover as well as I want it to. So the reason I'm doing a K, obviously, is because my name is Kelly. But you could do, whatever letter you like for your name, or children's names, or husband's names, or M for mum, or D for dad, or whatever you'd like to do. G for granddad, G for grandma. The possibilities are endless. And just so that you know, and this massive letter, like I said at the very start, my friend actually picked up for me in America in her local arts and crafts shop. But the letter that I did in this way before was just a papier-mâché letter from Hobbycraft, because obviously I'm in the UK. I know you can buy them on eBay because I've seen them on eBay. So you can get these in a number of different places, and they're not expensive at all. And same with the chipboard. I got that, personally got that on eBay, but again, you can get that in Hobbycraft, many art stores. I'm just touching up a few of the edges as I go around. And like I said before, with doing it this way, if there's any glue showing, once you paint in all these corners, you can't see the glue showing anymore, which is cool, because you're basically sort of painting over it. And also you're going to fill all these little cubby holes with lots of cool embellishments and what have you, and then you'll see it even less then anyway. So the children are still out, so I'm assuming they're having a wonderful time swimming with their dad, which is cool. It's quite difficult to take both of them swimming because my daughters are 2.5 and 9, so they're obviously at completely different places with swimming. My 9-year-old is a very, very good swimmer, whereas obviously my 2-year-old is only 2 and isn't. So the divide of attention, according to my 9-year-old, isn't fair, because 2-year-old gets loads more attention, but obviously that's because my 9-year-old can swim quite well and my 2-year-old can't, so she can't be left unattended. But hey ho, it's one of those things. It's the weekend, so at the weekends Daddy tries to spend some time with the children and gives me a bit of a break because I have them all week, and I also work from home, so I work from home whilst looking after the children. So sometimes every other weekend or so he'll take them out and I'll get to sort of craft and have a bit of a break, which is quite nice. That's coming up a bit tall, that one. Might have to cut that one down. Leave tall at one end. Very strange. Paint that in a bit actually. Where are we at? That side. Sorry if you can see the top of my head and my extremely messy hair again. There we go. So I'm quite excited about my metal handles that just came from China. I have no idea what I'm going to do with them as yet, but they're cool. And once I'd finished gluing these in, I had a quick think about what I might like to do to this. And I have a wooden word, which I think I've left somewhere else, so I'll have to show it to you in a minute, that I got from Hobbycraft, and I think it was 49p in the sale. And it says, I have a few actually, I have one that says Inspire, but that's quite a big one, so it's probably a bit too big for this. One that says Dream, and one that says, I can't remember, another one. So I thought that I might use one of those across the bottom of this, which I thought would look quite nice, which we will get to obviously once the rest of this is finished. Once we've painted this all up and got it all papered and ready to go. I mean, quite often I'll start working on my embellishments and sorting those out like after I've done sort of this phase, for example, because this is quite time consuming and tedious. So once I've done this, I'll quite often switch over to doing some embellishments, just so that I've got a bit of a change of what I'm doing, change of boringness, I suppose. Because I don't really find these bits fun. Fun bit's the embellishing bit for me, anyway. Might be different for other people, obviously. So, looking quite good. Not much left to go. It's going to be fun to try and get paper in there. I haven't quite decided which particular bits of paper I want to use yet, but the one that I really love, that sort of bluey, greeny textured paint splattery looking one, I'd like to keep one of those, I think, for another project, because with this I don't know that you're going to be able to see a lot of the paper by the time I've finished filling all these cubby holes up, and I love that piece of paper. I quite often find that when I buy a paper pack, there's one or two sheets out of the collection that I really love, and then I'll find somewhere that sells the paper individually rather than in the stack and go back and buy a few more pieces. So I think we've now got that all covered. Oh, missed a bit. Just a bit. Okay, fab. So, now, I'm going to wait for this to dry. This is where we're at. I'm going to wait for this to dry completely. Then what I'm going to do is, anywhere that it looks a bit rough, I am going to go over with some sandpaper, sand it back a bit. This bit here is not stuck very well, so I'm going to re-stick that. But other than that, I think we're pretty good. So let me just show you this letter, that wooden word that I was talking about. Bear with me. So this is it. I sprayed it yellow at some point by the looks of it, so I must have been thinking about using it for a project and not got around to using it, but just a little wooden word from Hobbycraft, and it was about 49p, but I thought that might look quite nice like that. That's not a definite. I quite often change my mind as I do things as I go along, but that is my first thought on embellishing. So yeah, I'm going to leave it there for now, wait for it to dry, and come back and do some paper. Bye!